Check, check, check. What is going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Welcome in. Thank you for tuning in here on a little last-minute stream decision. Normally don't stream on the weekends, but it is time to crack down on the studying. We've got 1 week left of training prep before I hit the sim, so I thought today would be a good morning to do another flight here in the 7-3, get that Airbus taste out of my mouth from our last stream. So we're sitting on the ramp, cold and dark in Spokane, Washington, and we're going to head on down to San Jose this morning. So what's cool about this flight up in cruise, I've been going over my systems study guides and questions, and I'm going to go over some. I'm going to use those as kind of practical testing study as we cruise down there. We're going to look at some stuff in the study guide, and then we might be manipulating some switches, and then I might actually go hydraulic alternate flight controls into San Jose this afternoon. So here, beautiful E170 we were thinking about taking, but we're going to take this puppy right here, the old bare metal. I did do a swap, a livery from Astrojet, because the Astrojet, to me, we got to fly at midday, and this is also a really, really good livery, also from J-Aviation, the Retro American livery, which is another one of my favorite bare metals. I'm all about bare metal. We need Aero Mexico next. But we'll fly the Astrojet probably out of Miami later this week, go down to Puerto Rico or something, do a semi-long haul. But that is the plan. We've got some studying to do. I've got my EFIS from WinWing. Finally don't have to scroll the Baro ref knob. I'm so excited about that. Really excited to see this. Man, this panel is really large. I'll get the camera up here in a minute, but I might actually have to do some desk modifications. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to be like XP and just run 2 sims, 1 Boeing and 1 Airbus. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this thing rocking and rolling. Aviation Dude, thank you for the 10 gifted subs out of the gate, my man. I appreciate you, sir. Very, very kind. Dropping 10 gifted memberships to the channel here early on. Hope you have a wonderful day. Did you get Starbucks today, or are you going to wait till you get back home? Sorry for the slight delay. Did made a little run to the Starbucks, and then had to get a little breakfast burrito as well, possibly in cruise. We're hardcore. We're back on the train. We're working out. We're fasting appropriately because I got to shed. My goal weight is to shed 10 pounds before I get to the actual aircraft. No more holidays. Holidays are over. It's no peppermint mochas. We're just doing a straight up black hot coffee, or excuse me, just a black cappuccino, nothing in it. So a little bit of a, I guess, what is that, like milk foam or whatever on the top of that, but that's it. Nothing else. No sweets. Except I might have one donut today. We'll see, because it's the last day of donut season. But anyway, we're cracking down, and it's going to be a fun week of flying and prepping for the 737 sim. So Hayden J. Robbins, Mr. Speedbird himself. How's it going, my man? Happy New Year to you. Welcome back to Private Pilot. Glad to have you on board, man. Much too kind. Thanks for supporting the channel. XP72 is in the house himself. XP, how you doing, my man? Saw a little bit of your level up stream the other night. You liking that level up, huh? I mean, dude, the level up 7.3. It is no slouch, man. It sounds amazing. The textures are pretty dang good. The model's amazing. I don't know. XP72 is starting to lean more towards X-Plane 12 as his favorite sim, I heard too, allegedly. So we'll see. AJ Fernari in the house. Good to see you. Cali Simmer. What's going on, Cali Simmer? How's it going down there in LA? I was going to fly to LAX, but it might be a little bit too long. So we're gonna dip into San Jose instead on this flight here. But should be a good one. Zebo is dead to you. XP, I got a kick out of it. You load in. XP's like, I'm doing a level up stream, and he starts powering up the airplane, and he's in the Zebo. Is it the Zebo? No, it's not the Zebo. Yeah, that was the Zebo. It's not the Zebo. Is that the Zebo? That was funny, man. All right. Let's go ahead and power this bird up, shall we? So we're going to reset you back to the front. We are cold and dark, so we know the drill. We're going to come on board. We're going to take a look at our... Ooh, we have some new papers here. Actually, is this new or is this part of the livery? This is the attitude indicator, fixed aircraft symbol, flight director. Ooh, DFW? Look at this. Now that I can get behind. What's the date on this one here? December 20. This is a new chart. Look at that. That's the best airport right there. DFW 35 left. Gallup Frizz. There it is. ILS runway 35 right, which is the one you don't want to get if you are coming in there. You want 35 center, but 35 right. They send all the long taxi. Very cool. I didn't notice these before. We got the Botch 1 departure. I don't think I've ever flown that one. Tilla 3 RNAV. Been a long time since I flew Tilla 3. But very cool. We'll leave that up right there. Remember, we'll do our pre-flight initialization. So we'll go ahead and we'll check for the circuit breakers, the fire extinguisher, crash axe, escape rope up here somewhere. I think it's right there, actually. Spare bulbs, all that stuff. It's all in position. And then we have to do the power up procedure to the aircraft. So I know it's really dark in here, but it's going to get bright in a minute. So let's go and get the battery switch on. Battery switch illuminated, standby power closed. We got alternate FAP closed, electric hydraulics off. We got 3 green down lights. It'd be beautiful. Let's go ahead and activate ground power. Airplane's coming to life. We'll get some panel lighting on here. Let's throw the let's throw on those. Let's get these up right here. Get the AFDS going. Everything else looks good. Let's pull out some lighting down here. Main panel. Any floodlight requirement? Nah, we don't need a flood there. That looks good. Nice dirty cockpit textures on this particular livery from J Aviation. Absolutely cooked. Delta Fan 311. How's it going, my man? It's been great being... Can't English this morning. It's been great being part of this community. Looking forward to what you bring in 2026. Delta Fan 311. Thank you so much for the 13 months of support. I appreciate you, man. Very, very kind. All right, 2026 is going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year. Continuing on with our flow. Leading edge tats, boom, boom. We'll go nav. We got 3 green lights. Oxygen pressure, check it. Let's get our first officer seating window over here. Let's go ahead and do oxygen pressure, boom. 100%, reset and on. Okay, I need to set my views up. So we have checklist V1 and wannabe V1. Perfect. Continuing on with the overhead. I just cooked it. Did I just cook it? I moved it to attitude, then nav. We'll just stay at nav for right now. We'll see what happens. Passenger oxygen, don't drop the mask. EEC switches are on. We'll go ahead and flight recorder. Don't need really to test that. Mach guard speed 1, 2, stall warning. PSEU light is out. Remember, we'd have a probably have for the max differences. Kind of throw those in here. So ELT switch would be up here. We'd also have not just for the max, but you'd have the maintenance light, and then you'd also have not just for the max, but for the proper tail number, you'd actually have the broadband switch up here as well. So that's been checked. With that check, we'll come down here. We'll take a look at the hydraulic situation. Bring out the systems page, 1,000, no pressure. That looks good. We got plenty of oil. That looks good there. And then we will pull up the emergency exit door. We got our emergency gear extension is stowed. Wonderful. Reset that. Let's go ahead and complete the overhead flow at this point. Everything's down and guarded. Yaw damper, navigation, the display switches are normal and auto. We got spar, wing valve lights, blue illum, low pressure lights as associated. Cabin utility IFEs are on. We'd close that guard. We got no APU power. That's normal. Drive lights illuminated. 2 gen off bus lights. No APU right now. Coming down the right hand side. Emergency exit lights are armed. Seatbelts and chime is off. That looks good. Up the right hand side. Window heat will get 1, 2, 3, 4 on. Beautiful. Probe heats auto and off. We got electric hydraulics off. CVR test. 5 seconds. Give me the light. There she is. 0, 0 on cabin altitude pressurization. Voice recorder on. Trim air is on. We're going to mess with this panel. This is probably where we're going to start our in-flight study systems and crews. I want to dive, not necessarily dive into the packs and cooling, but we're going to start there in the study test questions, and we're going to mess around with these switches because this is one of the larger differences on the 7.3 is running this whole air conditioning and pack panel. So we're going to start our system review in this section up here. But right now everything is in auto. Recircs are in auto. Bleeds packs are set as required. Landing elevation in San Jose, let's call it 50 feet. Flight cruise altitude, we're going to 360. I'll throw that in there. We got auto mode is selected. Get the logo lights on. Position is in steady. Very good. Coming across. Ooh. Take a look at the wind wing. EFIS. Coming across, we can do this. We're going to put on terrain mode. Absolutely wonderful. Let me set the Magic Barrel ref. Magic Barrel ref is 2948. We're going to throw up this thing here. It's 2300, and we're just going to hold it. So we need to set 2560. Oh, that's so much easier than mouse wheel scrolling. That alone is worth the price of admission for the wind wing. Looking for 2560. It's still a pain to set. To be honest with you. Boeing really screwed that up. I know why they copy it with the transfer switches. All right, 2560 is set. We've got terrain mode on. Flight director auto throttle. Flight director is set across the board. Then coming through the center of the pedestal here, we'll do the lights test. Tapes and 8s. Wonderful. We'll leave you on bright. Fuel flow reset. Back to rate. RTO is selected. Coming across here, nose wheel steering switch is in norm. Everything looks good here. We're still aligning. Kind of went out of order there. Come back around the right-hand side. Jip whiz is out. We'll go FMC on both. FMC on both. That's set. Park brake is set. Engine fire test time. 2 fault lights. APU detection in op. Wonderful. Now we'll go to overheat fire. We got the wheel well lights. 1, 2, 3. Engine 2 overheats. That checks. We should have the associated overheat master caution. Beautiful. Fire bottles left, or excuse me, yeah, left, right. That looks good there. Fargo fire test. The Fargo fire. That looks good. COM 1 is set, and COM 2 would be set. More primary IMC there for the HUD. That looks good. We'll squawk 2000. If I can figure it out. I'm having a hard time figuring out the knob situation here. All right, 2000 XPDR mode. Stab trim is norm. Flight deck door in op for right now. 00 rudder aileron trim. Beautiful. Checklist complete. Or not checklist, but pre-flight flow is completed. So, with that done, let's begin programming L-Box. So here, we'll go pause init. Why we do this, let's go ahead and take a listen to the ATIS here. I'm running, I ran the sim time and weather back because it was raining earlier, so we're running a little bit early morning weather situation here. Let's get the ATIS from Spokane. We'll start programming the pause. GPS left.
Ceiling 11,000 broken. 15000 overcast. Temperature 04. Dew point 0 tree. Altimeter 2948. Landing and departing runway 21. Read back all hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact.
Zach,
you have information whiskey.
Did you get the NG or Max? I got the NG, AJ. Got the NG.
Spokane Airport information whiskey. 1448 Zulu. Wind 175 at Niner. Visibility 10. Right. Light rain. Few clouds at 4.
Call him, Jeff. Let's go ahead and get our clearance while we wait here.
American 357, looking to pick up our clearance to Main A2 San Jose Airport.
Main A2.
American 357 Spokane clearance cleared to Main A2 San Jose Airport. Radar vectors Pendleton, then as filed. Maintain 6000. Expect flight level tree 60, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 2, tree 75. Squawk 1012.
Cleared to Main A2 San Jose Airport. Radar vectors Pendleton, then as filed. Maintain 6000. Expect flight level 360, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 2375. Squawk 1012. American 357.
The mean A2. I love it, man. That's super.
American 357, read back correct. Contact ground 121.9er when ready for push or start.
All right, I'm not sure what
We'll
they're landing in
contact
San
ground
Jose.
121.9er when ready for pushback or engine start. American 357. Thanks.
The mean A2. It's too funny, man. Normally Jeff is pretty good with the with that, but San Jose weather. Let me take a look at it here real quick. Right now, according to Digital ATIS, they're landing 12 right, light miles, 8 range. So 12 right and left. ILS out of service. Interesting. RNAV Zulu and visual to 12 right in use. So we're going to plan RNAV Zulu 12 right. And according to our flight plan, we're coming down the Freelon 2 off of Gulf transition. Nope. Off of Rebel. So let's see. We'll just leave it. Let me look at the chart on my iPad here again. RNAV Zulu for 12 right into San Jose. We'll take it off of RTAC. Is that it? Yeah. RTAC. Execute and Freelon 2. We might have to we'll just do Freelon 2 from Freelon. Execute that. Let's go to the map page. Actually, yeah, we'll go to this page. I wonder why we're still so... I wonder if I screwed up the alignment. Yeah, it says 1 minute. Oh, it just went through. Hopefully any second now. Alright, let's step through this and be a rebel. Zoom it out. Oh, that's so much easier. Yeah, rebel, Red Bluff, all the way down. And then RTAC. So that looks good for right now. My question is, what is up with our alignment situation? There we go. Okay, we're good. Back to map mode. Scroll this down. We got terrain mode on. TCAS will set over here to TARA. And let's do our fueling. We're going to load the plane from SimBrief. With that done, fueling is complete. No center tank. Well, we got 62. We'll go center tank pumps on. And we'll go ahead and start the EPU. AJ Funari, my man. Thank you, AJ, for the $3 super chat. Appreciate you. Taze Root, FO, FNG, Fubar, Fugly. That's a good one, AJ. I like it. I like it. Making fun of pronunciation, self-awareness. Indeed I am, man. Indeed I am. Mineta is Japanese name, and Japanese pronounce how it's spelled. Mineta. Yeah, San Jose E. Mineta Airport. Where are we? We are at the ramp on... we're at the ramp in Spokane, Washington. We're just spooling up the APU now to head down to San Jose. It looks like we've got some wintry mix falling. Nabil Hamdoui, what's up, going? What's up, buddy? How you doing? JBS, one thing I did on the downgraded engine to max, you can't monitor. Nah, you don't need to monitor it, man. It's got its own protection, so that's the theory behind that. It is kind of weird that you can't see the EGT, though. I do agree. I don't know if there's a systems page that you can pull that up on. I think it's a wee bit strange that they don't allow that, but APU's on gen. I went wrong direction there, but all right. So APU is on a bus. Let's go ahead and I tell you what, we're gonna set the chrono for 3 minutes, but we're gonna pretend we already waited. And I'm gonna say, hey, we need to warm the cabin up here. So let's go ahead and run the packs on. APU bleed is coming on. And we're going to set these to manual warm here. Because right now, forward cabin is pretty cold. Pretty dang cold. So we're going to warm these up here for a minute. We've got the dual bleed light. That's normal as associated. Cool. With that said, we can finish the rest of our programming here as we warm the cabin up. So let's go to our electronic flight bag. And we already did, let's see, yeah, so this is where we're at. We're going to bring in our zero fuel rate, 122.8 reserve fuel, 2.227, we'll call it 2.3 plus 4, 2.7. Cost index is 58. I'm going to run that up to 78. Cruise flight level, 360 is as high as we're getting. 360 is set. Execute that. Cruise wind would be coming in via data link, so we don't need to worry about that. N1, we'll take a look at our flap plans here. We are departing flaps 5 across the board here. Alright, so flaps 5 will be what we're doing. We're doing a 26K. We won't do the bump today, but it is contaminated. So contaminated runway with wind shear, actually you would do a 26K as well, which I found interesting. No D-rate, normal climb 1, flaps 5, bring in our CG 22.8, which is 4.92 on the stab trim, which is pretty much there right now. Actually, it's really closer to about there. 4.92 on the stab trim. V2 speed's going to be 145. We'll select VNAV. We won't be LNAV off the ground. I'm going to take a look at this departure procedure. And then we would put in our speeds manually, but I'm going to do it like this for sim purposes. 35, 37, 45 is set. 6,000 top altitude. Let's do a V4 start check. Let's do the line, please. Park and brake set. Oxygen check. Navigation transfer and display switches normal and auto. Window heat is on. Pressurization auto and set 360. Train display is selected. MCP is set. No, it's not. That's a lie. Runway 03 for departure. Or actually, no. 21 for departure. 021. 021. 021, and I'll actually verify. Is there an approach to that? Spokane, runway 21 departure. If we come back around, there is an ILS to 21, and the actual approach course is 212, so I was way off this. My bad. That's why we look it up. Practice like you play, right? 212 is what we need. We'll actually set, since it's going to be straight up IMC in terrain, we're going to set up all of it here. We're going to do 212. And then we also need to set the ILS 111.1 down here. 111.1. Set both sides. 111.10, 111. Yeah, 111.10 both sides. 212 is set. Okay, cool. MCP is set. Displays checked. Auto brake RTO. Fuel quantity and distribution 17,900 pounds and checked. CDU checked. Engine start levers cut off. Transponder is TARA. Aileron rudder trim 00. Departure briefing complete. Fasten seatbelts on. APU is on. Buses. Fuel panel set. Flight forms AML. Onboard accepted. Aircraft. We are 3 Kilo Golf today. 3 Kilo Golf. PEDs are off. 4-star checklist to the line is completed. Top of the afternoon, Mark Brown. Good to see you, my man. All right, so if I look at the departures, he says radar vectors. I got the Spokane 8 in the box. It really says nothing except departure control, initial climb off 210 is heading 210. So initial climb heading will be 210. All right. How's our temperatures doing? Oh, my goodness. Supply duct is up there. Passenger cabin is still cold, but we're sure as heck blowing in hot air. All right, let's go ahead and prepare for engine start. Let's go ahead and disconnect everybody outside. So ground operations, let's go ahead and first off release that, and call for push. And then we're gonna do our flow. So I'm gonna wait for the door lights out, so we're gonna go probe heat, 1, 2, hydraulics, pack set for start, lights out, anti-collision is on, pressurized, door lights out. So give him a call, Jeff.
American 357, gate Bravo 3, request pushback and engine start.
American 357 Spokane ground, pushback approved, face northeast.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face northeast, American 357.
That's an interesting takeoff, Cam. What happened there? Everything got all out of whack because we were flying Airbus yesterday. All right, now we're cooking. Man, the rain is coming down. All right.
All aircraft be advised, information X-ray now current, altimeter 29er for 8.
Let's go ahead and call him for push.
SkyWest 3470, gate Charlie 23,
Cockpit
request
ground,
pushback
brakes
and engine
released,
start.
clear to push. Frickin' cabin lights are on. Driving me nuts.
SkyWest 3470, Spokane ground,
Joe
pushback
Plains, what's up,
and
my
engine
man?
start
It's
approved.
I don't know
Face
whose it is. I
southwest.
got this scenery off of
Pushback and engine start approved.
Flight
Face
CTO. It's a
southwest,
freeware,
SkyWest
like
3470.
slight modified Spokane. Yeah, slightly modified Spokane. These cabin lights are gonna drive me up a freaking wall. How do we shut them off? They're not there. Automated off. I want off. I want all zones off, off. I want you off. I want you off, 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 off. They're still all on. How do we shut them off, guys? Does anybody know? Hit both zones. Both zones. Oh, golly, it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen modeled on any airplane ever. Why are we modeling fat panels? Drives me nuts. Everybody. Everybody. Modeling waste of space. Alright, push complete, set brakes. You love it? Hey, it's fine, but it should be defaulted off. Alright, brake set. Oh, wow, the panel looks good. Let's go ahead and start them up. Grounding 2, Chief. Oh, it should have been. Well, we'll do both because it's the first time at the start of the day and it's cold outside.
SkyWest 3773, Gate Bravo 5, request pushback and engine start.
SkyWest 3773, Spokane ground, hold position for traffic. I'll call you back.
Hold position for traffic, SkyWest 3773.
And one rotation. Fuel on.
SkyWest 30 for 70, ready to taxi to the active.
SkyWest 30 for 70, runway 21 taxi via Tango 4, Alpha, Alpha 1.
Runway 21 taxi via Tango 4, Alpha, Alpha 1, SkyWest 30
You
for
got this
70.
cockpit. Click mode, then select what zone. Alright. I mean, that's why, yeah, we figured it out. I just think if we're going to go down that length of modeling the flight attendant panel, it should just be defaulted to off. It should be default to off, and then if people want to play flight attendant, knock yourselves out, but ain't nobody got time to play flight attendant up here. We got a good start on number 2. Let's go ahead and ground 1. Why do you use ignition right? We're using both ignition right now, Eddies. We're using both right now because it's the first flight of the day. And it's heavy rain and cold. Looks like there's a SkyWest behind us. That was a great push there. And one rotation, fuel on. We'll watch this light up here. I did check in my expanded flow after start. The first officer will blank this lower ND. So we will blank the ND after start. I've been leaving it on. Start of valve open. Auto trip cut out there, or auto start cut out. There we go. All right, we got 2 good starts. So captain's going to do this thing here. He's going to do that. He's going to do that. And then after start flow, we're going to start at the trim is set. Flaps fife. Love this livery from J Aviation. The only thing I wish was different is I wish he did one that had the little pinstripes on the winglet. I've got a little story behind that, if I remember to tell y'all. Alright, so flaps 5 up to the overhead panel. And we're actually going to go, that's coming on, auto, APU bleed is off. We're going to leave you on both, that's fine. Actually, after start, we'll throw you to left. APU's coming off. And then we'll blank D&D.
3470, contact Spokane Tower 118.3.
After start checklist. Anti-ice as required. Generators on. Air conditioning and bleed set. Flaps. Flight controls. Follow me. We should do it from this window here. Alright, flight controls checked and recall. Let's go.
American 357 request taxi to the active.
American 357, runway 21 taxi via Tango 5, Alpha, Alpha 1.
Runway 21 taxi via Tango 5, Alpha, Alpha 1, American 357.
All right, Tango 5 Alpha 1. Brakes released, taxi lights coming on. Let's roll. For save states, I have the default save state on. I have default cold and dark save state on. So technically, I know how to do save states. AJ, get out of here. But if it's cold and dark, then shouldn't the flight attendant panel be cold and dark if that's the default save state? Because look, I have save states. See, cold and dark. But that flight attendant panel is not cold and dark. That's a bug. I'm going to submit a bug report to Mathis. All right, Tango 5 Alpha all the way down. Alpha 1 full length. Here we go. Oop, nose wheel scrubbing.
Skywest 3773, Spokane ground, pushback and engine start approved, face southwest.
All right, we're on the taxi out. That's all set. That's good. Takeoff config switch is not installed, which we've already run that, though. Let's get a shot of that guy blasting off. That looks good. All right. Everything looks good on the overhead. Should have run some takeoff performance calculations, probably. All right. Where's my FO side? There we go. Takeoff data and bugs. Closeout received and checks. Flaps 5. Green light. Stab trim 4.92 units. Takeoff brief complete. HUD is not set. Generators on. Air conditioning and bleeds. Auto and set. For takeoff checklist to the line. Added to our system. It should be solved in the next update. It's awesome. Looks like we have a custom cabin on this livery too. Might have to take a look at that. We should have ambient turbine sounds, a nice little rumble. I should have ambient turbine sounds. Oh, when that was actually an E-Jet Dale that took off. That was an E-Jet that took off. That was a SkyWest. All right, let me look at the company departure procedures. Make sure there's nothing crazy. No pushback is required. Runway 3 and 8 doesn't apply. We're going to 2-1. So we're actually looking pretty good here. For a moment, I thought this was a wrong side sim stream. What's up, Cam? Yeah, we're gonna start flying. The only reason I don't sim from this view now is because all of my hardware is set up the opposite direction. So it kind of driving me nuts. Now, what's interesting is my home PC, I don't have throttles. I just have I have the Bruner force feedback side stick over there. So I actually have that set up as first officer. So when I fly it at home for home study, I'm actually in this seat. Are captain those required to use the HUD? They're not required, but I believe it's actually, yeah, I think they are now, according to the checklist. I think they are.
American 357, contact Spokane Tower 118.3. Take care.
I got enough to worry about in the HUD. That's captain problems.
American 357.
All right, we're ready to go.
American 357, ready for departure. Runway 21.
American 357, Spokane Tower, wind 195 and 6, fly heading 210, runway 21, cleared for takeoff.
Fly heading 210, runway 21, cleared for takeoff. American 357.
All right, below the line. MCP and ND checked. Runway 21. I'm just double checking there. My eyes are always trying to look where that new 21 is. It's right there. PA is complete. Lights are set. Before takeoff, checklist complete. I guess I should do the PA. Start doing those too. Fuck off. Before takeoff. Nope, no weather engine. This is default. Everything you're looking at is default, my friend. Default. I will kill the wiper. We're going for realism mode, so no wing views. We'll spool them up to 40, and then we're going to be inside for the whole departure.
SkyWest 3773, ready for departure. Runway 21.
Spool them up 40.
SkyWest 3773, hold short of 21. Affirm, hold short of 21 for traffic. SkyWest.
Sounds are coming all the way up. Toga. $80.
V1.
Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up.
Positive rate of climb.
Fly with. Oh, yes, sir. That's fuel. Come back to that in a minute. All right, 1,000 feet. Flaps 1.
Contact Spokane departure, American 357.
Flaps up.
Spokane departure, American 357 for
After
1,500
takeoff
feet.
checklist.
American 357, Spokane departure. Good morning, radar contact. Climb, maintain flight level 180.
Climb, maintain flight level 180, American 357.
I'll bring these down out of the way here.
American 357,
All right, 180 is set.
turn left, heading 190. Expect further clearance in about 36 miles.
Weather
Turn left,
radar's
heading
on.
190, American 357.
Oh my gosh, I love having the EFIS. Did you see how quick we flipped that around?
773, good morning,
All right, let's go ahead and get the wing heats on here. It's plus 11 though. That's a
Skywest
little bit of an inversion.
3773, Spokane departure. Good morning,
Speeding.
radar contact. Climb, maintain 16,000 feet. Altimeter 29er for 8.
Got a temperature inversion there. See how it was 4 degrees on the ground, then it got to plus 10. Now it's coming back down.
Skywest 3773. Skywest 3773, cleared direct FCA. Resumo navigation.
After takeoff
Direct
checklist.
FCA,
Do
then
it
resumo
silently.
navigation. Skywest
Flaps up, no right.
3773.
Gear is off. Auto brakes off. Air conditioning and bleeds are set. Cabin's moving. Golly, you can't even do a checklist without that. This is why it's this 737, man. Anyone who believes in single pilot ops has never flown a 737. I've officially changed my tone. You cannot fly this thing single pilot. Be all over the freaking place. I went to touch the mouse to roll out the range. I don't need to. Look at that. EFIS for the win. Man, the EFIS might be single-handedly the best investment I've ever spent. We'll go ahead and clear the barrow. Come on, Day. 10,000 feet. Look at the retracts. Stereo light. I missed that. Dang it. Stereo's coming off. Accelerating 319 now. Yes, yes. Simmers can fly any aircraft single-handed. True, Mathis. true. I can't wait to fly a 747-100 single pilot. That'll be freaking awesome. Man, that was a sweet departure out of here. Nice weather, too. I tell you what, after flying the level up in X-Plane, we did a couple level up X-Plane flights. The PMDG feels so much more believable to me in terms of manipulation of the controls. Take that with a grain of salt. No, I've never flown the actual thing yet, but it feels different. It feels more believable. Classic Jet Simpot, what's up, my man? This livery would be mega juice without the winglets. I know. When are we going to get a 800 NG no winglet? That's what we need, man. I think Mathis said no model changes, though, right? So that would be a model change. What I really want is this livery with the pinstripes. I had one in Fresno? Where's Fat? Lost a good 10 C Celsius since they were sitting in their inversion layer in fog. Yeah, wintertime inversions, very common. Very common. Man, I keep reaching for my mouse wheel. No need to do that. No need to reach for the mouse wheel. So it looks like PDT are doing the next fix. Ooh, breakout load. Turn down the ATC here. Don't forget, if you like Sunday streams, do hit that like button. Get a little Sunday action in here today. What we got? Any good football games later? Going back into the rain. Would be great to get a Max 8 from PMDG. I'd love to see a PMDG Max 8. I think that, I don't know, what is that? They put that on pause officially? That's fine. I'd rather see a 747 from PMDG Mirage Airways. All hands on deck, 747-100. A lot of free Sundays when you're a Jets fan, Mike P. That's right, dude. Or Cowboys fan. They're both dead to me, man. Terrible football season. Absolutely terrible football season. Mathis says we'll get back to the Max, but it remains a bit complex with the professional version we delivered to Boeing. There you go. I can assure you if PMDG delivers a Max, it's probably going to have the STS and MCAS system somewhat simulated, which we did our deep dive on the Max that we have right now, and it just it does some things well, but it's missing some core features for sure. 16 for 18. All right, 360. Set. Direct PDT, here we go. PDT, bring it to the top. Execute LNAV. Man, we're Boeing. You're very welcome. Is your game completely default apart from the plane of scenery? Yes, it is, Alejandro. 100% default. No chase plane, none of that stuff, man. Everything is default. Here comes 18,000 feet. We'll get the rest of our lights. Boom, boom. Double check everything up here. Looks good. How are our temps doing, by the way? Yeah, still warm. It's warming up. So if that's 80. That's 60 degrees. So we're warming them up. Let's do this. Let's set the cont cabin to max warm. That's the supply duct for each of them. And this is the forward and aft. Cool. -4 seat. We're still in icing conditions. 18,000 feet. Push for standard. Love it. We're out of 18K. Still got some rain up here. Definitely in icing conditions now. Tuco, thanks for the $2 super chat, my man. Appreciate you. Says, here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Wait, oh, big game tonight for T-Tut Company. Dude, big game tonight. I'm pulling for all A-Rod, man. Come on, Rogers. You got to beat the... It's the Ravens, right? Big game tonight for the Steelers. Win and you're in? Is that the deal? Does it have ray tracing and are you using it? I'm not sure. I think it does. I haven't tweaked my sim at all, man. So I'm using default Microsoft 2024 with the PMDG airplane. That's it. In what situations would you take off with wing anti-ice? I see you only turned it on post-takeoff on your climb out. Well, it's Jerry. We were in icing conditions for the engines because it's +4C on the ground with rain. So it's not snowing on the airplane. So there's no need to put the wing anti-ice on the ground. Now, the engine anti-ice, what happens when you're in a cold temperature like that, the engines, while they're running, they're going to be sucking in moisture, right? And then if you go back to the old principles of Bernoulli and what's the other guy? My goodness. But an increase in velocity, a decrease in pressure and temperature, right? So as the vapors get sucked into the engine, they're going to be cooled. So even if it's +4 outside, as it cools off being sucked into the engine, you could very well accumulate ice on the engine nacelles, the T2 probe, which is this little guy right here as well. So it's very important to turn those on. Venturi, thank you. Very important to turn those on the ground, especially with moisture. Without moisture, you don't need it, right? You have to have moisture. Now, sim icing and anti-icing in sim world, at least in Microsoft 2024, is very weird because in real life, you wouldn't be turning on any icing or de-icing systems unless you were in visible moisture. But sometimes in sim world, even though you're not in the visible moisture, you accumulate ice. So I tend to be extra conservative with the engine anti-ice in sim world, and I don't ever really see the need or have needed to use a wing anti-ice. The only time you would turn a wing anti-ice on is if it's, like you said, it was snowing on the ground and we're in the 7.3 of the Airbus, we don't turn it on. Or you're in flight and you have visible ice on your indicators. So the Airbus has the little ice probe up there, which is really nice. 7.3, you would look around the cockpit frame. You'd also look on the wiper blade. And if you started seeing ice actually physically accumulate up there, then you would turn the wing anti-ice on. Now, I don't know how much more demanding it is on the 7.3, but on the Airbus, wing anti-ice is very demanding. And on an approach, it's actually strongly recommended that you turn off the wing anti-ice final approach fix inbound, because if you have to go around, it's very possible you'll miss on the performance on second segment, especially heavy 321. So you can take that for what it's worth. Now on the 7.3 again, I don't really know if they turn it off on approach. I don't think so. But after this week, I'll be gone. I'll be in the sims for the next month essentially. And then I'll be out on the line probably mid-February. So you all may not see me again after this week until I'm out on the 7.3 for real. Mr. Roscoe, my man, appreciate you. Thank you for the 49 months of support. What an ugly looking wing. What an ugly airplane. What is this madness? Why does that cockpit look like 1967? Because it is. Fly-by-wire for the win. Airbus A320 Checkride. Roscoe, my man, appreciate you. Thanks for the 49 months of support. What you're looking at here, Mr. Roscoe, is a superior design in aviation technology. Superior. No, it's not superior in terms of comfort or technology, but it is. Let me say this, Roscoe, it's a real man's airplane. Eagerly waiting the F-100? Yeah, it'd be sweet for American Ops, yep. I could have used wing and ice on the 172 yesterday morning. Line guys left snow on the wings 24 hours, and my 800 flight ended up being 9:15 departure. Oof. Jacket cover and glide call. Yeah, that's no good, my man. Dom Pellegrino dropping the 10 gifted subs. Mr. Dom, thank you so much. I appreciate you for 10 gifted subs. Man, I was wondering if you were going to be involved in any of those operations. I heard some Ospreys potentially down there. But good to see you, man. Hope all is well. Happy Sunday, and thank you for gifting 10 memberships to the channel. Our resident Osprey dude is in the chat. So, Dom, really appreciate you, man. Very cool. Thank you so much again for your service as well. And thanks for the support on the channel. AJ Funai dropping a $5 super chat. When in icing, what do you look for on the wipers? A yellow protective plastic guard on the bottom? Oh, my goodness. AJ, Little inside joke. Yes, indeed. You know what, AJ? I will say, these wipers are amazing now that I took the plastic guard off of them. They really are. Someone needs to do a wiper mod. Like AJ said, just make this wiper yellow. Ah, it's so ridiculous. Listen, AJ, I've never had fancy wipers before, okay? I just super chat, man. Bank1414, welcome back to Private Pilot. I saw you guys flying the GA yesterday in the Discord. It looked pretty dang good, man. I was looking at some stuff. It looked like a good flight to bring my H60. So yesterday I was flying H60 rescue missions on my home PC. Wow, look at this beautiful sunrise. All right, so now we are technically out of, in real world, we're out of the icing conditions. We're on top of the clouds, and we're not going to be accumulating ice. So I'm going to turn off the wing anti-ice. I'm going to leave the engine anti-ice on just a little bit longer for sim purposes. But real world, I'd probably be turning them off right now, too, because you're up on top of the whiz piece. You're not getting any ice right here. Our landing's always better. Flaps full in the 738 or 321 have been fairly common to do flaps 3. No, stop doing flaps 3 on the 321. That's an abnormal. That's what an Airbus, straight out of, not, where's he out of? What the France, where's the freaking main Airbus facility at? Straight out of there, brand new airplane, was repoing it because it had a problem. He was on board, and I asked him so many questions. I asked him about flaps 3. I asked him about engine starting sequence. And he said, you know what, back in the day, flaps 3 is considered an abnormal to land flaps 3. So land flaps full unless there's some reason you need it. My opinion, 10 years on the Airbus, 321, heavy, wind shear, and you're concerned about go-around performance. If you are, Toulouse, thank you. If you're concerned about go-around performance, then I would, you know, that was what we did at my last operator for 10 years. Otherwise, it was flaps full almost all the time. Another scenario is maybe there's no wind shear, but the winds, there's a huge gust factor, right? So it's 250 at 15, gust 3.5. So you've got a 20 knot gust factor. All right, maybe I'll consider flaps 3 there as well. But other than that, flaps full, you're going to be just fine. And he also told me, we named it engine number 1 first because we wanted you to start engine 1 first, but there's some operators that want to start 2 first. Again, that stems from fleet commonality, and there used to be another hydraulic layout on the Airbus as well. But even then, engine 1 first always. So it's not me telling you that. It's Mr. Engineer straight out of Toulouse that I talked to. I asked him those questions. I also asked him why the dimming on the new panels suck. And he just kind of chuckled. No, I do more important things like cleaning the carpet we put in the Ospreys after trying to make sure they press pulls vomit because the press pulls vomit doesn't go over. Oh my goodness, stop. But Magnum, to get back to your 738, it's a mix of, it's flaps 30 is the most common, flaps 40 for performance, flaps 15 for either single engine or again for performance. But 30 is the most common, 40 for performance, right? So shorter runways, things of that nature, you're going to go flaps 40. 30 would be the common. Michael J says, Bluebird 757 getting closer to release. One more dev video, then release. Really? Is that it? I saw there was an update, but I didn't actually get to read it yesterday. Somebody posted it in the Discord. Oh man, this is going to be a beautiful flight here when we get above the clouds and the sun. We're getting a sunrise here. Will be bare metal. Flaps 3 is an excellent way to go around because of the 175 in front of you doing 115 across the ground. That is true, yes. Can't take a chance with anti-ice? Nico, no, man. X-Plane 12 ruined me for anti-ice considerations. What about that nonsense about fuel savings for flaps 3 approach? The amount of fuel you're going to save, Cam, listen, if you're getting a fuel bonus check every month, then maybe go for it. But as far as I'm concerned, noise and fuel, if I'm not getting a percentage of it, I'm going to do what the manufacturer suggested you do. You also risk tail strike issues with flaps 3. If you're not, well, I shouldn't say you risk tail strike. You on a 321, you're actually going to decrease your margin for tail strike. So you're going to be more likely to strike the tail if something goes wrong in a flaps 3 landing. Which is going to save you more money? 1,000 approaches on flaps 3, and you have one guy have a tail strike and put a whole 321 out of commission, you've ruptured the bulkhead, or you just have everybody do flaps full. Where's the line in the sand, right? What are your thoughts on flap settings 7.3? I hear some people say to use all the settings 1, 2, 10. Some people only say 5, 15. So for us, Waffle, we use 1, 2, 5, 15, 30, and 40, or 20. I think it's 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, 30, and 40 are our most. Those are our approved. Now the Max has different approved flap takeoff. I can't remember which one it is. I should probably study that one. Fewies 9867, thank you for the $5 super chat. Past instrument check ride. Very cool, man. On to commercial. Do you have any tips or tricks for the maneuvers or ground knowledge? Nope. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. The commercial rating is one of the more fun ones to do as a student because you already know how to fly the airplane. You already know about instrument stuff. So now you just get to focus on stick and rudder, man. Stick and rudder. And then also think this. If you're going to be being paid to fly airplanes, you're going to be doing it under either commercial pilot or airline transport pilot privileges, right? So it really starts to set home. This is what separates you from being a PPL with an instrument or just a private pilot. You're actually going to be certified as a commercial pilot that's going to be qualified to make money flying airplanes. So that always was a little motivation piece for me. Like, this is why I did this, right? I'm not going down this journey to just have a PPL, which is completely fine. Some people do, right? Maybe you want to own an airplane, you just want to fly around backwoods, whatever. That's completely awesome. But if your goal is to make money flying airplanes, bread and butter right now starts now, man. Commercial pilot certificate, that's where it starts. So use the same study habits, and I tell you what, man, use the sim. Whatever sim you like, whether it's X-Plane 12, Microsoft, chair fly your profiles, chair fly your lazy 8s or turns around a point, chair fly all that stuff in the sim. It's really going to help you out, I promise you. Just being able to kind of see what's going on is such a huge help, man. Are you going to become a real world pilot? I might, Mr. Planes. We'll see. All right. What did Roscoe say? Flaps 3 and a 321 kisses. Flaps 3 and a 320 is poop. We'll see. All right, we're getting ready to level 360,000 to level here. Then we got to go outside and just enjoy a little bit of view. And I'll get my questions out. We'll start doing some studying. Let's take a look at the cruise page. 8.0 is a little bit fast. Let's knock that down. 7.9. We want some time to study. So we'll set 7.9 there and cruise. We're climbing out at 8.0. That's fine. We got 500 feet to level off. What a view this morning. Delta has screws locking out 30 on the 757. Saves X amount of fuel for each approach. Yikes. So wait, locking out flaps 30? So you can't... I don't know what those 7.5 flap settings are. So they can't land flaps 30?
Seattle Center, Aero Mexico 695. Good morning, flight level 330.
It's easier to hit birds with flaps full. Yeah, Turks is our community bird population manager. I can buy 1.5 iPhones instead of just one with my profit sharing check by landing flaps 3. Yeah, no thanks. Bigger fish to fry. Here you go. What's the highest flap setting you ever departed with on the Airbus? Flaps 3. Flaps 3. That was our noise abatement. That was our for NADP2. That was for short runway performance. Key West, which they're doing again. John Wayne, Burbank. Flaps 3. Toga, static. Is the highest we've departed with. Now, as far as 7.3, 0. Haven't done any yet. Ask me in a month. Holy hook echo. Is there a hook echo on the radar? It looked a little bit like it, didn't it? Oh yeah, right there. Look at this. Where's this at? Throw waypoints up? No, how about airports? What's just north of DLS? What kind of weather they got going on over there? I love having this FCU. Like, can you guys see? It's just so sweet, man. The buttons on this are so nice, really firm. The radials up here are less quality, I feel like, than the ones on the MCP. They're a little bit cheaper feeling, but man, it is nice. And we'll leave the weather radar. Actually, we don't need it. We'll turn the weather radar off right now. We've got traffic on. And we'll zoom you out like so. Get into cruise mode. Excess data, we'll turn the airport data off. Put the prog page up there. Smooth ride, we'll let them roam. Turks, make the PA for me if you would. Currently about halfway through my commercial. For me, I enjoyed instruments more since those procedures I was learning flyer how I'll fly my entire career. That is true, Michael. I will say instrument is very fun as well. Instrument, I'll say this. I think you're right. I think instrument for me was more fun than commercial, but as an instructor, teaching commercial was my favorite rating to teach because I always told guys like, hey, this is where you're going to make, this is what's going to make a difference between you being a PPO and actually being someone who gets paid to fly. Engine anti-ice is on, thank you. Yeah, we'll kill that. We don't need that anymore. Engine anti-ice is coming off, and now we are just chilling. How'd you get to study? How did you study for your type ride? You're watching me right now, Waffles. So I've had about a month of home study. So I've been off for almost a whole month, really, which has been really nice. And I had to do, I don't know how many hours of online CBT training. So you go through all the systems on the CBTs and basically teaches you, at least breaks the ice, right, of all the systems and everything. And there's little quizzes throughout. And now, as I get ready to go into ground school and sim, which we do, I guess, on the same, do both a little bit of ground and cockpit trainers and sims in the same day. At the end of the ground portion, I think 7 days or 9 days, something like that, is a test, is a final exam. And what I can do in between then is take practice tests on all the systems. And that's what we're going to do today. We're actually going to review some systems tests straight out of my study guide. So I've got 737 system study guide for my operator and all this stuff. And basically, it's the test, you know. But I guess they take, I don't know how many questions out of the test, but you have a whole bank, right? So I don't know how many questions there are. It's more than 100. But say there's 100, and then the test is 75 questions. I think it's more than that, but I have essentially the entire bank of questions. So we're going to study those, and we're going to start with air conditioning and packs today. And before we do that, we're going to look, is there failures in here? Not necessarily failing something yet. There's 500 in the bank, and the test is 60. Okay, yeah, something like that, right? Yeah. So I've got a very large study document, probably. It's 75 pages with, it doesn't say, I mean, there's sometimes, 30 questions on a page. So it's a lot of questions. But if you study all of them, then when you take the test, right, you should be able to at least get 60 of them right. So I'm going to be looking at this. I've actually never dug into here before. This is where it's starting to get dangerous. I'll let you guys look out the window while I kind of look around. Engine-driven pumps. Because what I would like to do today is actually lose a hydraulic system. That's what I would like to do. But first and foremost, we're going to start with the packs and air conditioning. So turn down the radio. I'll leave you guys in full screen cam. And good to go here. Yeah, Jaffo, this is plane 2024. MYL weather, 5 miles light snow. Very nice. Truck's got a seatbelt sign is off. Sit back, sit down, shut up. Please keep your hands to yourselves. It's amazing we have to tell that to people, right? 2025, 2026. I need to upgrade out 2020. I'm slowly but surely upgrading my rig. Yeah, Jaffo, you got it, man. 2020 is where it's at, dude. Sim Update 4. As long as you set up your system right, I think you're going to have good perf. Like, Sim Update 4 really has increased perf. I'm not even running auto FPS anymore, unless I'm in niche scenarios. Did you see the FMC has options for different hydraulic pump manufacturers? I did. We got Abex and what's the other one? Something. All right. Matter of fact, let me go back to that menu. What do we have for failures in terms of the air conditioning setup? How do I get back to that menu? PMDG, aircraft failures. Pneumatic? Ooh, we could do a bleed. Fail. Isolation valve. I don't want to do a bleed failure though. That could be return, pressurization, passenger max deployed. It's under miscellaneous. Transponder, terrain, tail strike. We don't want that. We'll fail a fuel pump too. All right. Tom Pasco, my man, thank you for the 68 months of support. My goodness. Happy New Year. I have a flight coming up at the end of the month on a 7-3 Baltimore to Costa Rica direct. Ooh, Southwest, huh? Ready to be stiff and sore at the end of that run. Dude, I've done Baltimore Cancun as a turn, and I wanted to go run a marathon after that, and I hate running. That was a long time sitting up there. Costa Rica's even further, so Godspeed, Tom Pasco. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Hopefully you get a window seat, or an aisle at least. Only tail strike the Medal of Honor bird? That is tradition? Oh my goodness, no real. For real, Turks? Alright, let's get into some of this. Pneumatics. Alright, maximum cooling, ram air doors. I wanted to get down to the actual, here we go. So, let's go to the overhead. There's a couple interesting configurations. So I'm going to go zoom in on this. So right now I had cont cabin, which is essentially the control cabin or the cockpit, full warm, and these over here. This is the supply duct. Cont cabin supply duct is up there at 90 degrees. Look at that. Fore and aft cabins have warmed up wonderfully. Now, one of the questions is, with blank configuration, what will the PAX command? So I'm going to set this up to be exactly how it shows in my study guide. So they have this on cool. Then we have forward cabin auto and aft cabin full cold. So I could see this scenario being true because what the aft cabin is always tends to be the hottest, right? So in this configuration, the question asks, what temperature will the PAX command? So to understand what the PAX command, you first have to understand that PAC 1 is primarily for the control cabin or the cockpit. It does also supply the forward and aft cabin. It gets bleeded off from the main line to the control cabin. PAC 2, coming from engine 2, primarily supplies the forward and aft cabin. So if we have a temperature selector like this, the PAX will produce an air temperature that satisfies the zone which requires the most cooling. So in this particular case, cold max requires the most cooling, so this one will essentially be ignored, but they will produce an air temperature to support the aft cabin cool down. Right pack and left pack. That's very cool. So this is the supply duct aft. All right, cool. So the aft cabin will begin to cool down over time. All right, let's look at a different configuration. One that's interesting. I don't know why it would be set up this way. So a pretty standard configuration, but it's going to honor the one that requires the most cooling. One thing to think about too, for packs, and I don't know why this just dawned on me. When you increase the temperature, what do you do to the pack as far as workload? Are you making it work harder, or are you making it work less? When you increase the temperature on a pack, or let's say you're requesting a higher temperature to be from the air conditioning pack, is it actually higher or lower demand on that unit? You know what? I haven't even ate my burritos yet. Lower demand. Very true. No, it's not harder. It's actually lower, right? Dude's preparing for the instructor pilot job. Turks. I would love to, man, in the future. Maybe like 10 years down the road, get back on the Airbus and then do it, go back to the Airbus. Well, I don't know at that point, because then I'd be 10 years on both airframes. I don't know. Either way. Yeah, you guys are correct. When you increase the temperature, you are actually lowering the demand on the pneumatic air cycle kit. Because what is that pack doing? It's taking hot bleed air from the engine and cooling it and throwing it into the mixing unit and then throwing it into the cabin. So if you want to relieve load on the pack, you actually want to increase the temperature on the selectors, that's kind of an interesting thought when you think of it that way. Normally, you think in your car, well, you got to turn the heat up. It's working really hard to crank out heat, but it's completely different than what the bleed air and how the pneumatic air cycle kit works. Okay, so this is a strange configuration here. We've got the control cabin at kind of the middle of the road. The forward cabin is selected off, and then the aft cabin, I have this wrong, would be selected full hot. So in this configuration, this is interesting. This is actually a test question too. With the temperature selector positioned to off, the pack will adjust the cabin demand. In this case, which statement is most correct? So in this configuration, the left pack outputs will be adjusted for a demand of 75 degrees, and the right pack output will adjust for a demand of 65 degrees. So it's basically saying we're going to split the system here because you want cold air, you want warm air, and this one is off. It's going to just try to go middle of the road, 75 and 65 degrees. Two numbers you got to remember. I don't know why you would have the forward cabin selected off in this particular case, but I just find that's an interesting config. All right, let's go ahead and bring this back into normal. We'll just kind of tell you what, let's throw everybody into auto right now. So we'll throw you back to auto. Throw you back to auto. And where is my test light switch? So up here, the zone temp light. If this light is illuminated due to an overheat in the applicable supply duct, the master caution will be illuminate and the continuous cabin trim air valve closes. So the zone temp light means that the temperature controller in that zone has failed. Now what's interesting is if it only illuminates during, if it goes away, but it only illuminates during a recall, then it actually operates normally. It's kind of an interesting situation there. Because there's two control cabin zone temperature controllers. So if it both failed, then it stays on. What causes that to illuminate? Overheat occurred in the aft cabin or forward cabin or con cabin supply duct, and associated trim air valves are closed. Alright. Can I smoke a pack in the failures? Let's come back up here. Let me look at the failure page. PMDG aircraft failures. APU automatic doors, electrical engine, fire. It wouldn't be under engine, would it? EECs, engine oil, vibration, pressure, V1 cut, reverser deploy. Ooh, those are spicy. We're not going to do those. Pneumatic. Engine 1 bleed over temp. APU bleed valve. Now, so we don't have a pack failure under pneumatic. And I don't really want to get... I don't really want to do a bleed leak necessarily. Alright, so we'll leave that as is. Alright. Moving on. Let me look for a different section. Traffic, we don't want to worry about that. Electrical, APU. Here we go, APU review. This is good to review in contrast. Oh my goodness, look at the clouds down there. There's no aircon section. I thought there would be, Highball. There's no aircon section. But APU, well, we did a lot of APU review on the bus, so let's review some APU on the 7.3. APU provides power, both electrical and pneumatic, can take up to 120 seconds to start the APU. With the APU operating, turning off the battery switch will cause the APU to shut down, right? So it'll shut down the APU immediately, which is no good. We have fire protection for the APU provided by one fire bottle. We checked that during pre-flight, right? So our fire bottle for the APU is right here. We got one bottle. Test that green light. Wow. Bare metal is coming to play this morning. Got me. Get up here on the nose again. There we go. The APU fire extinguisher agent discharges manual only, so there is no automatic APU bottle blow in the 737. You got to manually blow the APU bottle. APU can be started both with electrical power and from the airplane battery. If there is a blue maintenance light on the APU panel, which is right here, I gotta remember, I'm too much X-plane, man. So the blue maintenance light right here, it's hard to see, but it actually says maint. If that is illuminated, you can still use the APU. It just means that maintenance is required. I almost think that's kind of like a on the Airbus when you used to have the low oil message pop up. You can still run it, but maintenance has to come check it. I would imagine is similar. So it still can be used if needed. APU EGT is displayed on the forward overhead panel unless you're in a MAX, right? We lose the EGT gauge in the MAX. You can monitor this, though, via the system's display, so that's good there. In order to start the APU cold and dark, we must have the battery switch on, and the APU fire handle must be in. And the one on the nose must be in as well. So that would be something to test. We should pull the fire handle and see if we can start the APU. That'd be interesting. Now here's the numbers that you really want to remember. So this is something that we always taught in the bus, or always were taught rather. So the maximum altitude that the APU can be used for bleed air and electrical power. It's actually lower than I thought. It's 10,000 feet. So if you're using it for bleed air and electrics, 10,000 feet max. Captain Simp, my man, thank you for the $2 super chat. What a nerd. Nerd alert. What's up, Captain Simp? Hope all is well, man. Thanks for the $2 super chat. We're nerding out today. We are nerding out on the 737 systems. And my goodness, I wanted it to be kind of a bland flight so I wouldn't be jealous of the window views. We might have to sit here in window view. We'll do this for a minute. Yeah, Turks, what is it for you? Yeah, for us, it's 10,000 feet max. Yeah, Timu APU. That's why I was shocked too, right? couple more. So maximum altitude for the APU for bleed air only, no electric, so you're still running an engine generator, no APU gen. You can go up to 17,000 feet. So 17,000 feet for bleed air only. If airborne, the battery is the only available power source for APU start. It is not recommended to start it above 250. That's similar to the ones we had in the bus. My last operator, we actually had two different versions of the two separate APU manufacturers and two separate APUs with their own set of limitations. But it was around 25, 27, somewhere in there, I think. I can't remember. That's a big one because people always think, okay, what if you're up at cruise altitude like we are right now, 36,000 feet? Boom, goes dark, power drops off, you have dual gen failure. Very rare, but say it happens. What is the one thing you cannot instinctively do and everybody wants to do because they want to be solely? They want to reach up there and start the APU. The problem is if you try to start the APU above the battery start limitation, you could end up cooking yourself. Now, less so in the 7.3 because you can fly it manually, but in the Airbus, if you cook that APU at cruise and you got no electrical power, you're done for. So recommended start above 25,000 feet is not recommended if you're trying to do battery start. Now remember, there's also no RAT. There's no ram air turbine in the 7.3. So in the Airbus, you have the ram air turbine, you have the emergency generator, spin online, all that good stuff. Do not have that in the Guppy. All right, on the ground, we tested this one, and it was very cool. It does work appropriately. So as far as the generator tripping, you do not have auto generator trip in the 7.3, except under one condition. What is that? It is depowering the APU after takeoff if the APU is providing electrical power and the generators have not been online. It will automatically power both transfer buses. So we tested that in the PMDG. It works. Pretty neat little gotcha feature in case you come from the Airbus and forget to switch these over after takeoff and you shut down the APU. You're not going to go dark. Turk says his is 22.5 and 20K for bleed air. Yeah, see, significantly more powerful APU on the Airbus than the 7.3. After 3 consecutive start attempts on the APU, we must wait 15 minutes. That sounds pretty standard. Getting into the little max difference here, the blue maintenance light, the max blue maintenance light door light has replaced the maintenance light on the control panel. Oh yeah, the APU door light has replaced the instead of the maintenance light on the max. Automatic APU shutdown will occur low oil pressure or a fault or an overspeed. Couldn't you still windmill start in the worst case? Are you talking about for engines? Yes, of course. Of course, T-Tut company, you're going to windmill start the engines. Now, the problem is it's more so in the bus where in the Airbus, if you have zero electrical, you're done. You have to have some form of electrical current, whether it's coming from the RAT or the batteries. Because if you have zero electric, you're a dead stick. You're not starting engines, even if your engines were running. But for some reason you had zero electric, you're a dead stick. You need something electric in the Airbus. 7.3 is slightly different. As we just talked about, APU auto shutdowns consisting of overspeed, high oil temperature, faults. Those are all automatic shutdowns of the APU. I'm curious. I think I saw this failure in here. Let me look here real quick. Menu, PMDG, aircraft failures, APU, programmed, APU severe damage. Nope, I wanted to do an overspeed. I might do that later. How are we looking at flight? 266, the top of drop, we're looking good. I'm having micro stutters. It's because my screen was on the other side. Let's see. APU. Yeah, we already looked at that. All right, cool. What happens if a rodent was to chew through some electrical wiring on the Airbus? The engine engineer sure they started that right. No. Well, there's a lot of redundancies, Caleb. There's a lot of electrical redundancies on the bus, for sure. But If a rodent chewed through all of them, you're cooked. All right, moving on. FMC. I'm gonna skip these. These are all L now. This is kind of hard to go over because these are all theoretical. On the MCP, autopilot, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Let's go to electrical. With the standby power off light illuminated, you could power the standby bus directly from what? Placing the standby power switch to battery. Let's take a look here. Ah, yes. Standby power. Auto and off. Auto, off, and that. I want to click a gen drive there. Alright, so standby power. Interesting. You could power the standby bus by placing the switch to battery. DC power is supplied by TRUs, battery charger, and the battery. So looking at the electrical, right, we've got TR1, TR2, TR3. Battery bus. Standby power is off. Can I turn you on? I'm curious. Oh geez, that's off. We'll lose the yaw damper. We'll go standby power on. Flight control recall, that's associated. Yaw damper back on. So now we've manually engaged standby power, but look at this, we got a display source light. 2902 is an amber. Puts you back to auto. Back to normal. Hopefully those will go away. Reset standard. Display source will go away. Interesting. I never think about the standby battery, or standby power rather. DC power. Remember we have AC and DC power. DC power is from the TRs, battery charger, and battery. The AC electrical system is run isolated. A static inverter is powered by a battery. Ground switch is located forward attendant panel. The ground service switch right here. Ground service switch is located on the forward attendant panel. So this is interesting. On the bus, remember we've got the ground service on the overhead there in the galley. Now this is interesting about the electrical system on the 7.3. So on the 7.3 electrical, when you capture the glide slope for the ILS approach, the DC cross bus will actually open. I wish I had a little better electrical diagram on the 7.3 on the overhead. You really don't have a diagram of it, do you? Like on the Airbus, it really laid out what the electrical looked like with the lines and everything. You really don't have that on this 7.3. But what happens is it goes to a split system, so you don't have conflicting data, so it isolates to left and right via the cross-tie relay, which would be right here, bus transfer. I guess you kind of do. You kind of do right here. So in auto, this actually trips when you capture the glide slope on the ILS approach. Interesting. That's what the auto mode is. Circuit breakers are allowed to be pulled and reset when? Only if specified in the QRH procedure. Only in the QRH can you pull circuit breakers in the 7.3. Man, bare metal's best. I got a 7.3 question. Does your operator have Cat 3B auto land with rollout, or does HUD require landfill and landing? I know South Korea no rollout. You can do Cat 3. It's not A, B, or C anymore, Roscoe. It's fail operational, fail passive. And the 7.3 goes down to 50 foot with a manual landing. So there is no auto landing the 7.3 for us. The 7.6 did the same things or something similar, isolates the 3 autopilots on their own electrical buses. Yeah, it is pretty neat. That is a neat little Boeing design to isolate those. How often do you take full control of the auto throttle on the Airbus and will you enjoy the Aspect 7.3? Scotty, I actually did it quite frequently, man. Every flight I would, or every trip I would make it a point to take control of the auto thrust. Because if you don't use it, you lose it. And a lot of guys would just straight up be afraid to take control of the thrust levers in the Airbus, and I would always encourage them, like, hey man, why don't you get used to it? Do it yourself. Because what happens when you get called in for a reserve trip on Christmas Eve and you don't have an autopilot and you got to fly down to who knows where and you got to shoot an approach and the winds are gusting? That's not the time you want to do your first auto thrust off approach. All right? You want to get them be familiar with them. Yeah, Magnum. The overhead on the 7.3 is a lot busier. That's for sure. Lot busier. When moved to off, the bus transfer switch, one we were just looking at, will isolate AC and DC buses on electrical system 1 from the AC and DC buses on electrical system 2. So it splits the electrical system. Very cool. In a normally operating AC electrical system, if the bus transfer switch is moved to off, and if generator subsequently fails, the bus ties will not close to transfer power. So that's not good. If standby power off lights lumens means blah blah blah. Standby electrical power cap will be able to fly instrument approaches. So with standby power or standby electrical only, you're only able to fly all of them essentially. ILS, VOR, and LOC only. So no RNAV approaches, no NDB approaches. Which, if you're at standby electrical power, that's probably the least of your worries at that point. AC standby can be powered by blank if normal power source fails, the battery through the static inverter. Oh, here's expanding on the automatic relay. Opens at glide slope capture to prevent single bus failure from affecting both navigation receivers and flight control computers on approach. That is the textbook definition of why we split the electrical system at glide slope capture. Beautiful. What does illuminated EEC on the AC and DC metering panel mean? Standby power. That's when we get into the EECs. If a TR unit light illuminates in flight, it means TR has failed. Let me look at electrical failures here. Menu, PMDG, aircraft failures. Electrical. Ooh, we could fail a generator. Wow. Main, battery fail, aux, static. Let's do a TR1 fail. Let's arm it for 1 minute. Execute. So let's sit up here in the cockpit and we're hanging out. We're fat, dumb, and happy on the jump seat doing our observation ride in San Jose. We're going to see what happens here with the TR fail. The 7.3 gets interesting, especially when you compare the NG to Classics of 5.4.3. Yeah. I wish the Classics were still flying, man. They're so cool looking. Waiting on wind ring for your rudders, Roscoe? Nice. Roscoe, have you tried talking to them? They have the FSprojects stick with the what's it called? Hat switch that you've always wanted now. It is available. Turn the weather radar on. Let's see what's going on up here. Oof. Good thing we're on top of all that weather. Okay, we're flying around and we get master caution. Captain gets a master caution electrical up to the overhead. TR unit. Fail. So we can cycle. We see which one has failed. TR1 has failed. Okay, so we're TR2. We'll clear the caution. Now, this is something I haven't done. Let me see if I can pull out my, what do we do? Of course, I got logged out. Please enter your PIN to access your quick reference handbook. I hate this. I think they should always have a quick reference handbook no matter what. All right, home page, system index, electrical. We had a electric TR unit. All right. Standby power off. TR unit. One or more of the transformer rectifier units are failed. Do not use the AFDS approach mode during an ILS approach. Whoa. So we can't arm the approach, is what you were saying here, right? Yeah, cannot use approach mode during approach because we have a TR unit fail. TR1 is out. 2 and 3 are still operating. Okay. Additional information. Consider engaging LNAV VNAV to allow use of autopilot and flight director. If approach is selected with a failed TR, autopilot will disconnect and flight directors will become unavailable when the cross bus tie opens at glide slope capture. Ah, remember? We just talked about that? So, because TR1 is failed, now this doesn't, this applies to, it doesn't know which one is failed, I guess, here. It just says TR unit failure. We know it's TR1, but if you didn't know, so when the system splits with a TR unit failure, you would then be, the autopilot would disconnect. So that's why we can't use approach mode. Cat 1 ILS minimum are DA, not less than 250 feet, height above touchdown, and visibility not less than 2,400 RVR or half mile. So hopefully we can still get into San Jose. That's the TR unit failure complete. Okay. So remind me, where's my in-op sticker? I'm going to put the in-op sticker on my FCU here. So we're going to put this over the approach push button so I don't push it. There we go. Don't push it. Email B. Norris or whoever's running it now with that idea. Seriously, take all those ideas seriously. I mean, yeah, you talk about the QRH going away. Man, the only reason, I mean, not the only reason, but I am against it going. I like the fact that I think you should have both. I think we should have it in the EFB, and I think you should have one, at least a QRC. The reason being is I've gotten burned by this with a FADEC fail. Went into unrated N1 mode in the soup right after departure out of San Diego, and my iPad, I go to the thing, it logged me out. And now this was, we obviously had much less robust EFBs at my last operator and with our software that we had at the time, so it actually locked me out. So I had to, it wasn't a big deal. It's an unrated N1 mode. You just fly the engine, or you fly the airplane and keep the engine out of over boosting itself. But it's just like, what if it was something more serious, right? And I did everything correctly. I logged in beforehand. I made sure I was already signed in. But the app crashed. The app crashed right when I went to it. And then I had to go back into it, had to log in, wouldn't let me log in, had to do a PIN login. It just was, you know, I don't like it, man. I don't like it. You should have both. All right. Anyway, let's see. You want to PMDG simulates what? Oh, if we press the, we can try. Greg, we can try to turn on the, we can try to orbit, see what happens. The thing is, I'm not sure if it's TR1, 2, or 3. So they're telling us out of caution. Maybe it's like TR1 and 2. So I'm thinking if 2 is operative, 1 and 2 go together and 3 goes off on its own. So maybe it would still work. But if it was TR3 that failed, you'd have a problem. So I don't know. We can try just to see what happens, I guess. Let me go back here. PMDG. We have one. Let's go back down to electrical. There's a lot of failures in here. Aux battery fail. I Tell you what, let's lose the generator. Let's arm it for 1 minute. Execute. So we're simulating. We got some electrical gremlins, right? So we're flying along, fat, dumb, and happy. Well, that's fine. We just had a TR1 fail. No big deal. We'll just keep going. But what if there's something actually going on in the system, right? And now we're going to lose an engine gen. So let's see this play out. I've never done this before. We're digging into it now. We're digging into it. Airplane. I'm trying to get ahead of it here. What's it going to look like? Dun, 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 dun. So you live close to the airport? Oh, brother. Autopilot off. My aircraft. Electric. Re-engage the autopilot. We'll recall that. We got electric light on. Alright. What's going on? Source off light. Gen off bus. Okay. So let's go to our QRH. Engines. Oh no, not engines, sorry. Go back. QRH, system index, electrical, source off. We have a source off light on the overhead. The transfer bus is not powered by the last selected source. Choose one. Source off lights are illuminated. Go to loss of both engine-driven generators checklist. Only one source off. Go to step 2. So we only have one source off, so we're going to step 2. Engine gen switch affected side on. Choose one. Light extinguishes or stays illuminated. All right. On. It stays illuminated. Go to step 4. Choose one. APU is available for start. It is. Start the APU. We're above, we got a generator running, right? So we're good. So let's go ahead and actually start it. Get the APU cooking. When APU is running, APU gen affected side turn on. Okay, and then go to step 5. So we're going to hang tight here. We're going to wait for the APU to spool up. Company wants to save money by not printing pages. We're going to lose our blue pages soon as well. We aren't happy about that, like a mini guide to... Really? That's interesting. Blue pages. Yeah, there's a heck of a view out there this morning. Alright, are we spooled up? What's going on here? APU's coming online. Take a look at our progress. How far? 142 miles, 1644. So we got 20 minutes until descent. Zoom out Atlanta. Where are we at? Trying to see where we could go. If I set us up for something else, cause a diversion. Oh, we'll keep going. Alright. So, JPU is available, so we're going to do this. Nope. Nope, did it wrong. Did it wrong. Did I? Hold on, let's get back down to altitude. APU gen switch affected side on. No, I did. I did it right. We're on. But wait, no. We have gen off. Yeah, gen off light is normal because the generator is off bus, but the APU has picked it up, right? Source off light extinguishes. Yes. End of procedure. If it stayed illuminated, land at nearest suitable airport. Only one main AC power source remains. Wow. So that could get pretty serious. But it did connect, so the source light is off. Okay. Interesting. Source off light extinguishes. That's the end of the procedure. Cool. All right. What else can we tinker with? Menu, PMDG, aircraft failures. Let's keep messing with electrical here. Ooh, if we did a gen fail on the APU, then we'd have to divert because we wouldn't have a single generator. We may be done on electrical, actually, now that I look at it. Yeah, we're going to leave it as is, because if we start failing more, then we might start having, we'll lose our redundancies, and then we'll actually have to divert. All right. So that's cool. I will say this for the Boeing, going right to the QRH is a lot less convoluted than start, stop, ECAM, OEB, system resets, clear status, than QRH. Yeah. Yeah, you just go right to the QRH, Classic Jet Sim Pilot. But the thing is, in the Airbus, all of this would be on right there in front of you. So you wouldn't need to do anything. It would just say, APU start, gen on, boom. You just go boom, 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 boom. You're done, right? So I don't know. I still think the ECAM is the way to go. I can't believe there's no ECAM on this thing. I should have blanked that, by the way. All right. All right. Continuing on. How are we looking at fuel? 9.3. Aircraft. Failures. Fuel. I want to look at fuel. What do we got? Let's do a forward left. Fail it now. Execute. Low pressure on the forward fuel pump. So home. Is it actually going to give us a recall? Yeah, but it hasn't waited. We had to wait. If you didn't notice it, okay, so recall low pressure fuel. So I think after 5 minutes, it actually would then give us a recall. But now that we're already ahead of it. So what is our actual light? It's a fuel low pressure, right? Yes, it is. Fuel pump, low pressure. Fuel pump pressure is low. Lights may flicker when tank quantity is low and turbulent air during climb descent. Choose one. Main tank pump fuel low pressure light is illuminated. Yes, it is a main tank. Affected pump off. Okay. Sufficient fuel pressure is available for normal operation. End of procedure. Okay, well that's pretty easy. What is this? One center tank, low pressure illuminated. Both center low pressure lights, then with crossfeed open, all that stuff. Okay. We don't have any center fuel though, so that's fine. We'll keep an eye on that though. We do have a low pressure in the left. We'll have to keep an eye on our fuel imbalances too. Alright. Is it lunchtime yet? I'm hungry. Back to here. PMDG, aircraft, failures. Hydraulics. This is where it's going to get spicy. Where's my... Let me have my burrito. Open this up yet. man, I waited too long. It's cold. Alright. Stand by on the burrito. I guess we'll have to do a hydraulic failure first. The way we run it on the bus is QRC, then full ECAM, then QRH, then ECAM supplemental if there's time. Alright. Classic Jet. Oh, we're talking Classic Jet. Yeah, Classic Jet likes the TFT AMD-11. He's been flying it all the time, man. He's flexing on all us poverty MD-11 owners. Alright, before I start failing hydraulics, let's take a look at this. EMDP electric, MDPA hydraulic failure, engine driven pump 1, engine driven 2, electric motor AB, standby fail, we don't want that. Let's do a hydraulic leak. I think we should do a hydraulic leak. So, engine driven pump 1 hydraulic leak. Armed in 1 minute. Execute. And then I think we're going to be done as far as failing things. Tongue-tied on Sundays, man. Normally just chilling at home watching football. Speaking of, games are on, right? What do we got going on? 12:30? Let's see. What are the scores at? Let's do a score check here before we get busy. Any good games in the early window? Cowboys and Giants are tied at 3 in the loser bowl. Jets and Bills at 325. Ooh. Do the Bills need the win or not? I don't think the Bills need the win against the Jets, do they? Toilet Bowl, Cleveland, Cincinnati. Houston, Indy? I think Houston's already clinched, right? Are there any, like, win and in games today, except tonight? Ooh, Packers, Vikings. That should be a good game. Kind of wish I was watching that one. That could be important. Bears, Lions. Yeah, the 3 p.m. slate is much better. We got a lot of loser bowls here in the noon window. A lot of loser games. Patriots, Dolphins for seed 1. Yeah. Oh, for the Patriots, yeah. All right, so we're gonna simulate a hydraulic leak, and then this should probably take us all the way into our destination. We're 83 miles from top of descent, so theoretically, we're gonna pretend that we're getting ready for our approach into San Jose right now. So let me bring out my flight bag. Let's get our arrival weather. 8 miles rain. We know the limitation, right? We know we're doing the RNAV approach. So we're going to have to be an LNAV, VNAV, which is fine. Winds are 130 at 114. What were we landing? Yeah, 12. RNAV. Zulu, 12, right? All right, cool. Get our charts ready. What are you going to do when you get to the hotel? Well, I definitely want to go downtown. I want to go to the bakery shop. Man, there's a kick-ass bakery downtown San Jose. I wish I remember the name of it. It's like right downtown. It's where we used to have our long stay at my previous operator. It's a cool little overnight. Had a Christmas parade down there. Alright, RNAV Zulu off of RTAC. The LNAV VNAV MINS. RNP1 DA is 394. So we'll get this up. Oh, not you. We'll get this up. Barrow will hold you over to get to 394. Oh my gosh, so much better. That mouse wheeling. Alright, 394 in the Barrows. Final approach course. We'll just back it up here with our FCU 126. .126 across the board on both sides. Alright, it's coming down. Let's go run some landing data. Performance Landing en route. Import OFP. 12 right. Wet. Calculate. Auto brake 3 brings us 5,500 feet. What do we get for auto brakes 2? 6,600 feet. That works for me. Let's go auto brake 2. Auto brake 2 is set. We'll leave the weather up right now, but we'll have terrain displayed here in a minute. Actually, yeah, we'll get terrain up when we start down. So weather is up. Final approach course 126 Foxags at 1,100 feet. 394. Touchdown is 46. Landing 12 right. Be a left-hand turnoff at the end. We'll double back. All right, that sounds good. And as far as the arrival is concerned, zoom you in. Free lawn at or above 13. Then pegs at 5,500 feet, and then right to RTAC. So pegs at 5,500 will be the bottom. All right, that all checks out. RNAV approach pretty easy. Init ref. We'll plan flaps 30, 142, 131.4 on the gross weight. Fuel on destination 7.1. We'll look cooking with gas now. Go back to map mode. Zoom you back out here. Why are we TA only? Did I not put this TARA? I did not. TARA. Starting to get nervous because if our hydraulics is leaking, what's going to happen? I don't know. Never had the hydraulics leak before. Ali Sammy, thank you for the 2 Canadian super chat, man. Appreciate you. Hope all is well, man. I believe there's FAA reg that requires paper backup to digital files. I don't believe so, Jaffo. I don't believe so, because we had all digital in my last operator. 0 paper backups for anything. Golly, the bare metal on 7.3 is the best. We really need Aero Mexico. Aero Mexico is what we need. Man, the clouds have been cooking today. I don't know if we should hang out outside or inside. I don't want to cheat and check the hydraulics. Actually, I kind of do. Oh yeah, it's leaking. It's at 58. It's 57. It's leaking, chat. It's leaking. Alright, so we'll just sit here on the jump seat. We're hanging out. All is good. Have you noticed a weird bug with the ISA temperature on live weather? No, I have not. What do you mean? What kind of bug? That's ATC talking to us. I'd turn them back up. Yeah, we can accept that. Freelon 2, 12 right.
Expect furlong 2, runway 12 right, American 357.
Thank you, Jeff.
SkyWest 3714, descend via Razor 5 arrival, main A2 San Jose landing runway 12 right, altimeter 2987.
Descend via Razor 5 arrival, main A2 San Jose landing runway 12 right, altimeter 2987, SkyWest 3714.
SkyWest 3714, contact NorCal approach 120.1, see you.
So you like
Contact
stuff?
NorCal approach, SkyWest 3714, take care.
We need the Javiation Canyon Blue. Yes, Javiation, man, his liveries are fantastic. He just released that Lone Star 1 as well, which is really good. Okay, we got a master caution on the captain's side. And on Mr. Checklist side, we've got master caution hydraulic. Okay. Take a look up top. We got low pressure, engine 1 hydraulic. My aircraft. Clear the caution. All right, let's go to hydraulics. And that's engine 1
Skywest
hydraulic
54,
low pressure, right?
contact
So
Oakland Center 127.8.
hydraulic pump low pressure, affected side off.
127.8, Skywest 5464.
Okay. Loss of an engine-driven hydraulic pump and loss of high-demand system may result in an intermittent illumination of low-pressure light for the remaining electric motor-driven hydraulic pump. Okay, that's it, really? Fuel, electric, and hydraulic. Now, if we take a look at our systems page here, we're still maintaining 40. That's right, because of the system has the I remember this. Okay, so there's like a stovepipe drain type wizardry where if it's leaking at one spot, it actually will only go down to 40.
Descend via Furlan to arrival, mainly to San Jose Airport.
So I
landing
also
runway
need to
12
leak
right,
the electric.
altimeter 2987.
We'll have to do a hydraulics lesson on the 7.3.
Descend via Furlan to arrival, mainly to San Jose Airport landing runway
5500
12
is
right,
set.
altimeter
So it won't go
2987,
below 40.
American 357.
That's impressive that that's actually modeled right there. All right, because there's the way that the 7.3 will leak. If it's in the engine-driven pump to the electric, it will actually, it stops. It can't go below 40, and that's exactly, that's spot on, man. That's PMDG, right? So we're going to fail the electric leak as well. So we'll eventually lead out the entire system, but that's very cool to see that. I forgot all about that. Greg CFI, welcome to Commercial Pilot, man. Glad to have you on board. Appreciate you. Hope you enjoy the content, man. We're breaking stuff today, but thank you so much, man, for the support. Appreciate you. Aviation Dude 95, thanks for the $5 super chat as well, man. Appreciate your support today. Don't forget to clear the failure after this flight. Yes, we'll have to clear a failure after this flight as well. We don't want to do that, man. Electric hydraulic fail. Thank you, Aviation Dude. Really appreciate you, man. Yeah, well, I'm going to have to clear all of this for sure. Active, yes. Execute. I hope I did the right system. So now, let me go menu, FS, G, aircraft failures, hydraulical. Engine driven 1 hydraulic fail. Engine, electric, that's what I have. EMDPA. Well, what I should do is... Ooh. Oh, see, look, it's fail. See? It's draining the standby. Now, my question is, do we let it fail a drain, or do I overheat it? Let's overheat it. Let's say it's getting cooked, man. Our whole left engine is toast. So, electric A, I'm going to just activate you right now. Execute. So we're flying along. And we should get it overheat. Did I activate it? Hold on. We got to descend via. All right, let's go ahead and start descent now. Or a few miles prior. Oh, I keep forgetting I can't do that. Yeah, 10 miles out. Yeah, we'll descent now. Start down. Menu. This is going to get real busy if I can't get this to work in time. Alright, master caution, hydraulic, flight controls, okay. Stop, I have control. I'm going to keep descending down. I'm going to have to do both of these here. All right, recall. I didn't mean to click it. So hydraulic is back on. What do we got up top? We have low pressure electric. So home, quick action, hydraulics, loss of system A. So we have flight control and low pressure electric on both. All right. Oh my goodness, this is going to be hard to do hand flying. I think I can get the... Can I get the first officer's autopilot on? I can. Command B, all right, just to help me out here. You'd be hand flying until we figure this out, but Command B is on.
Alaska 1155, contact Oakland Center.
ATC can hush up for a second. All right, hydraulic system A, pressure is low. System A, flight control switch, confirm standby rudder. So system A, flight control switch, standby rudder. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you don't have to use arrow keys to move around in real life. Standby rudder on. System A pump switches both off. All right, System A is both off. Standby rudder is on. We got a field diff light that's associated. Check the non-normal configuration landing distance from the 737 land app or from the following 3 tables. Flaps 30, VREF plus 30. Oh my goodness. Continued on next page. So let's go ahead and clear the caution. You still have control. We're descending down. Flaps 30, gross weight 130.6, sea level, wet 6,300 feet. If we do flaps 15, 6590. Okay, so we're definitely going to do flaps 30. All right, so we're standby hydraulic B now. All right, so we've got that. We're going to do VREF plus, and then we have max tables. My goodness. Okay. Loss of system A continued. Plan for manual gear extension. Nose wheel steering switched alternate. When the gear has been lowered manually, it cannot be retracted. The drag penalty with the gear extended may make it impossible to reach an alternate field. That's important to know, wouldn't you say? All right, inoperative items. Autopilot A is in op. Autopilot B is available. We've got Autopilot B on. Flight spoilers. 2 on each wing in op. Roll rate and speed brake effectiveness may be reduced in flight. Let's go ahead and test. Autopilot's off. Wing view. Look at that. The spoilers are staying down. That's crazy. All right, Command B back on. Normal landing gear extension is in op. Manual gear extension is needed. Oh, now we're going to be higher. It's all right. We might end up doing a hold at the bottom of the arrival so we can get our gear down. That's okay. Ground spoilers in op. Landing distance will be increased. Alternate brakes in op. Normal brakes are available. Which is interesting because you put the nose wheel steering switch into alternate, but that's interesting. Alternate brakes are in op, but normal brakes are available because we're system B. Engine 1 thrust reverser, normal hydraulic pressure in op. Thrust reverser will deploy and retract at a slower rate, and some thrust asymmetry can be anticipated during thrust reverser deployment. Normal nose wheel steering is in op. Alternate nose wheel steering is available. Checklist complete except deferred items. Continue next page. Deferred items consist of the manual gear extension. We're not in a max, so we're going to do this. Landing gear off. I'm going to leave this page up. All right, so we'd also go ahead and we're going to get these seated. We're going to talk to the flight attendants. I don't know. I think we would probably declare. I don't know. Would you declare emergency in this position? I don't know the 73. So in the Airbus, it made it real easy. If it said land ASAP, you declared an emergency. We definitely let ATC know we're going to have possible issue with our flight controls. And actually, because we have a flight control malfunction, technically you have to report that, I believe. So we would make all our appropriate communications. Those are all captain problems, right? So he's going to talk to the flight attendants, going to talk to the company, going to talk to all those people on the ground. I'm just going to be sitting over here. Like, how can I help you? Fly the airplane. Okay. Sit here and fly, right? Because it's going to be Command B anyway, so I wouldn't assume, but I would think that, especially with the System A loss, first officer would probably be flying, at least have the first officer's autopilot on, at least for right now. landing would probably be handled to the captain. I can tell you. So this is what's, you know, it's interesting, the psychology behind this. Like when I was on the bus, right, and we always talked about who's going to land during an emergency, I always looked at, you know, well, I'm the captain, I'm in the left seat. Typically, I have more experience than the first officer, right? So I'm probably going to do the landing unless there's some type of, you know, the issue that we have is really not going to be affecting the landing, then let the FO do it. Not a problem if it's his leg. But now that I'm the new guy and I'm in the right seat, I can tell you right now, I would not want to land it. I'd be like, hey, look, man, you've got X amount of years on the airplane already. I'm brand freaking new. Why don't you take the landing? I'll fly it down to whenever we'll transfer controls. Cool, whatever, you know. Because I don't know. I don't have the experience of landing the airplane, right? So a manual gear extension procedure, I'm going to look ahead at this right now. So the gear lever has to be in the off position. Uplock is released and handles pull, blah, blah, blah. Wait, 15. All right. Landing gear lever down. This is interesting. I don't know how to read this because it says off. Max, manual gear extension handles pull. Oh, no, alpha 2 max. Okay, so we're going to pull them. So we're going to get down here. We're going to end up pulling these 1, 2, and 3. Okay. The related red landing gear indicator light illuminates, indicating uplock release. So these should illuminate red because the uplocks will have released. And then landing gear lever down. Wait 15 seconds after the last manual gear extension is pulled. For the max, we have some additional deferred items. Ground proximity runway inhibit switch. We would do runway inhibit. Remember, that's going to be on the first officer panel over here on this side. After landing, stop straight ahead and have the gear pins installed prior to taxi. All right, loss of system B does not apply. Additional information. Proper planning of the approach is important. Consideration should be given to the effect the inoperative systems has on crosswind capabilities. Auto flight stabilizer trim. Go ahead and set standard here. Stabilizer trim, control response, control field, reverse thrust, stopping distance, go around configuration, performance spread, reach an alternate field. All right, you're briefed, I'm briefed. We're going through 18,000 feet. We'll get these lights on. We'll get you. And let's run 5 times prepare for landing. All right, descent checklist to the law. Descent checklist, rather. Altimeters, 2986. Approach preparation, complete terrain display. FO side's got it selected for performance. I'm going to leave it off just in case. I don't know if you can run both weather and terrain at the same time. Light set checklist complete. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're going to do for our gear extension. Since we're on the RNAV, and I've never done this before, what I'm going to do is let's hold at P-pegs. Actually, no, let's hold at RTAC, because that's the furthest out on the fix, or on the approach. RTAC is way out there. Is there another transition that I can maybe get a... Yeah, we could take it off of... Well, no, I like RTAC because it's straight in. The other transition on the approach brings us in at a curve, and I don't want to do any turning. I want to be straight in. So we'll hold at RTAC and lower the gear. So I'm going to go hold, next hold, I'm going to select RTAC here, and I want to hold on the inbound course 126. Right turns 126, keep us away from terrain. With give us 5-mile legs. Execute. And we should be able to get down in here, take a look at the hold. There it is. Got the hole drawn at RTAC. That's where we're going to do our manual gear extension. Is there Auto brakes, reverser credit, no. I think we should do flaps 40. No. We'll go back to my tables. It's flaps 40 would get us down to 4850. Oh no, 6180 versus, ooh, another 600 feet. Let's do flaps 40. We're gonna plan flaps 40. It's another almost 1,000 feet. It's about 700 feet at flaps 40. This data is valid and must be used with good judgment. All right, database on +5 includes a 7-second flare from threshold to touchdown. So we're going to do flaps 40 at 131, 130,000 gross. I'm trying to see if there's an auto brake based on max manual and max available reverse thrust. We're going to go up to 3 on the auto brake. All right. We're going to go 3 on the auto brake, flaps 40 on the approach, and we're going to hold over RTAC for the gear extension process. Get ready to go through 10,000 feet. I'm going to get you on. Man, beautiful clouds today. Picked the wrong flight to be inside the whole time. I should have been outside looking at all these views. Let's get the flight recorder ready. Alright, flight recorder is red eye. Got a Checkride coming up? Got Sims coming up, man. Yeah, pretty much. Alright, coming through 10,000 feet. We're slowing at 240. Let's do a before landing checklist to the line, please. Approach briefing completed. Seatbelts on. PA's complete. Recall. Flight control. Electric fuel. Standby rudder on. And hydraulic. Recall is checked. Auto brakes 3. HUD is not set. Radio's display is set. Cross check before landing checklist to the line. What do we get spoiler wise? Yeah, look at that. See? Only get 2 spoilers with our hydraulic system A failure. Alright, as we're going down, I tell you what, let's go American 357 ensure an emergency aircraft.
Southwest 164, cleared direct hitter. Cross hitter at or above 4,000. Cleared RNAV Zulu runway 12 right.
I'm going to switch to
Cleared
tower.
direct hitter. Cross hitter at or above 4,000. Cleared RNAV Zulu.
And we're going to hold. You just let us know when you're ready to proceed inbound from RTAC. Roger that. RTAC again is at or above, really nowhere above 1,800. We're going to set 3,000. We'll get terrain display up. We're going to set 3,000 feet. And we're going to do level change 240. Just going to get down here so we can start doing some work. +6 outside. Engine anti-ice is coming on. looking good. 4 miles or 4 minutes from our tech. 7 for 3. We're definitely in some weather. Great. I'm hearing the thunder and lightning outside. Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, there's absolutely no reason to be alarmed. How come the plane carrying President Maduro had no info on flight radar? It's the United States military, dude. Just went into another country and extracted a president. They can hide an airplane on Google's airplane search. No need to be alarmed. This is my first flight. Wow, look at the clouds. I said that like 5 times this stream, but man, it's great. Got a little inversion. Engine anti-ice on about 10 degrees. Alright, so when we get down here, gear lever is off.
San Jose Tower, Southwest 164, RNAV Zulu runway 12 right.
It says we're supposed to pull this?
Southwest 164, San Jose Tower, wind 130 at 1.
I don't know how to pull
runway
it.
12 right, cleared to land.
Oh, manual gear extension.
Runway
please.
12
I'm
right,
like,
cleared to land, Southwest
just someone to
164.
pull and hold it out? That's going to be an interesting thing. Alright, let's go ahead and also start slowing down. Let's do 210 here. Love that. Proper spoilers out and everything. Very cool. If you like this kind of stream, you want to see me work hard, sweat hard up here on the 737 doing failures, make sure you hit that like button. We might do another one this week. I'd like to do a, enable a random failure every X minutes of a stream. I think that'd be pretty cool. Maybe we'll save that for the finale, like on Thursday or Friday. All right, flaps 5. We'll keep coming back to 180. Let's do 190. It's fine. Right between the speed there, 180. Okay. What I want to do is turn outbound in this hold, and then we're gonna do our gear procedure. How's our fuel? 7.1, plenty of gas. CFI Checkride this week, y'all. Wish me luck. I'll take the advice you got. Ninja Man. Go crush it, man. My advice every time for CFI Checkride, if something isn't exactly panning out the way you want it to pan out, make sure you verbally express to the examiner that you're going to say, I'm going to use this as a teaching moment. And the reason we're a little bit slow in our Chandelle is because I'm a little too aggressive with the pitch and let off a little bit of airspeed, etc., etc. So use that phrase, I'm using this as a teaching moment, to your advantage.
Southwest 164, exit left at hotel.
Exit left at hotel, Southwest 164.
Alright, so we'll turn the corner here and we'll get ready to pull the...
All aircraft be advised, information popping out, current altimeter 2988.
I'm assuming, I'm not going to assume. Let's take a look. I've never looked at these. How do I even... even know how to get over here and look at them. Is there an order in which to pull? Manual gear. The handle can move downward quickly. Do not handle the handle during hydraulic pull. We're just going to go 1, 2, 3, I guess. Right main, nose, and left main. That's how they're labeled. Okay, cool. And tower American 357 into the hold of our RTAC 3,000 feet, time 1704. American 357, roger. Just advise we're ready to proceed inbound. Alright. Wow. American 357, be advised, there's a heavy thunderstorm moving over the field right now. Just what you wanted to do with hydraulic failure. I don't always do a hydraulic failure stream, but I do. I like to do it in a level 4 thunderstorm right over the field. What could go wrong?
SkyWest 4123, ready to go. Runway 12 left.
I know there's terrain out here to the
SkyWest
east.
4123, San Jose Tower, wind 130 at 11.
Right, no approach mode either. We're on the RNAV. We're on the RNAV. LNAV, VNAV, we're on the
Runway 12
RNAV.
left. RNAV to Nevsey, cleared for takeoff. SkyWest 4123.
Did you get an EFC? Well, yeah, my EFC is whenever I'm ready. Classic Jetset pilot, that's whenever I'm ready, because we're holding for our own well-being here. All right, we're establishing outbound here. Let's go ahead and start pulling some stuff. So, confirmed gear level is off. It is off. Pull the handles. Wait 15 seconds after the last handle has been pulled. 1, 2, 3. Look, they each individually came down, so we got 3 reds. All right. Wait 15 seconds. Landing gear lever down. So they're already dropping. It's because they're already dropping because there's no pressure there. Let's go gear down. That gets rid of the red lights. Look at that. That is so cool. Just like it should be. You know what else is crazy? Our hydraulic fluid actually went up a little bit because of the hydraulic that was in the lines holding the gear up has returned to the sump. Talk about detail, guys. We are talking Phoenix level of detail here on this hydraulic. You notice we were at like 38% or whatever, but that's because there's hydraulic in the lines. When we put the gear down, we release that pressure and it goes into the well, and now it's gone up a bit. That's so cool. American 357, the gear is down. We are showing 3 green. We're ready to proceed inbound.
Contact NorCal departure.
American 357, roger.
SkyWest 4123.
Execute hold, exit armed. All right, you're cleared. RDAV, Zulu, 1-2 right approach. Maintain 3 till established. Crash, fire, and rescue are standing by. We're not going to arm the approach mode. We're in LNAV. Maintain 180 here. Gear is down. Let's arm the speed brake. And we'll stand by for. We're going to wait till we are coming all the way in. Let's go. nav. Approach is 394. It's 400 feet. Because we're still in the hole. We're still in the hole, that's why. There we go. engine NIs have come off. What's the temperature on the ground?
San Jose Tower, American 357, ILS runway 12 right.
Flaps
American
15.
357, San Jose Tower, wind 130 at 11, runway 12 right, cleared to land.
Tyler Burke, what's up, my man?
Runway
We're
12
training right
right,
now.
cleared to land. American
We're in
357.
training, man. Hydraulic leak, Caleb's.
San Jose Tower, SkyWest 3261, RNAV Zulu runway 12 right.
SkyWest 3261, San Jose Tower, wind 130 at 11, runway 12 right, cleared to land.
Runway 12 right, cleared to land,
Airspeed
SkyWest
low.
3261.
That was me, I was late on the flaps. Ready to take over. Level there, keep coming down. Alright, before landing, check its blow line speed brakes, armed, green light. Gear down and green. Flaps 40, green light. Before landing checklist is complete. I really hope we can see the runway, guys. There's SkyWest in front of us. Oh my gosh, he's gonna make us go around. I'm not gonna go around. I'm gonna just can them. I don't need them. Ground ATC is off. Probably should have prepped the HUD. That would have been helpful, huh? Oof. Nope. Thousand feet stable. We're not going to see it, are we? I'm not going around. I see the I see the pappies. The lights will be on. Real world. This is down to freaking mins. What are we landing? 1-2 right? Yeah, 1-2 right. Happy's on the right. That's down to frickin' mins, guys. Autopilot's coming off.
Plus 100.
Just approach altitude. Set. My throttles. Well, the lights are on. The lights are on. Cool. I mean, that's... Wow. That was so cool. What a cool weather to fly into today. Perfect. Perfect weather. Just like the sim. It had to come down to freaking minimums every time.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Deployed. Wait, did that deploy? Oh, it did deploy. I wonder why that... I don't know if that was supposed to deploy or not. Remember, we can't taxi until the aircraft's pinned. Set the brake. All right. Well, That was fun. My goodness. We wouldn't be able to taxi. We'd have to go, should we taxi in? I guess let's taxi in for fun purposes. We would be towed in here. Next time, pick an airport that's a little bit better weather if you're going to do failure stream, huh? Oh, we have alternate nose wheel steering? Yeah, that's cool. Cleared across both runways. I wonder if... Look at that, I've got no nose wheel steering in normal mode. I'm doing left and right on the tiller. Tiller only moves in alternate, that's so cool. Alright, we're going to clean it up here. We're crossing both runways. So, flaps up, no light. Trim set to 5 stab. We're going to go auto brake off. Flight director's auto throttle, flight director. As required up top, start the APU, do our thing. We're just going to go straight to the gate. That's cool. I mean, even the nose wheel steering switch being an alternate's the only way it turns. That's awesome. Love to see that. See, these are all things that I had hoped and, you know, kind of assumed, which is really, I guess, a bad thing when you're, you know, flying stuff. But I assumed that PMDG had a lot of this stuff modeled, right? But I never really knew. You know, that's why I was very hard on the Phoenix when it came out, because I've been flying the airplane for a long time. I know what it's supposed to do. I've got the books to support it. I've got the manuals to check it. So we would dive deep into the Airbus systems. And people would always ask, well, what's the Airbus versus PMDG versus Phoenix? I'm like, well, I don't know, man. Ask someone who's on the 7.3. But now that we're starting to dabble into these systems, it's very cool to see the depth of simulation going all the way from the spoilers being correct. I don't know why TR1 deployed. Is it because we had some pressure still in our hydraulic that we're able to get it open? I think it said it could be delayed. Not necessarily inhibited, but either way. Nose wheel steering being an alternate versus normal. Since we wanted to fly the Lone Star one today, we're just going to park next to Southwest here. We'll have to taxi all the way down. And we're not going to shut down because I'm gonna end this stream, head home, catch the end of the first round of games, and then we're doing stakes tonight, chat. Stakes tonight for Baltimore and Pittsburgh. But man, that's just awesome. I love it. I mean, I love being able to do this with the PMDG. I'm going to dabble a little bit more at home, and we'll continue to do some failure streams this week. Perfect. Next stream tomorrow, Caleb. We'll be streaming tomorrow. We will be streaming tomorrow, my man. Landing rate 226. 226, not bad. I was a little nervous. Hadn't done a flaps 40 in a while. You can see our procedure turn inbound. 1.12 G. You can see the weather we flew on. This flawless sim flight today. I love that. I love when a plan comes together. You know, you get a flawless sim flight. The airplane does what I want it to do. The weather cooperates in the aspect of, like, it's not just plain as day, plain Jane weather. Like, we actually had really cool weather all the way to freaking RNAV minimums. Just awesome, man. Just awesome. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. All right, flaps are coming in. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is our final approach inbound into rainy San Jose. We'll go full screen. The flaps are slower to deploy, it appears, aren't they? Trailing edge. I can't remember. One is trailing edge, one is leading edge. I need more study time. I'm going to study more. I'm going to do some more studying on hydraulics. Love to see it, Alexander. Love to see it. You spin me round. Good move. In real world, you have gone to an alternate? No, James, you know what? I don't think so. I mean, we had the weather. San Jose, we got a long runway. I mean, there would be some discussion, I'm sure. You know, you go down, do you want to go down to LAX? We didn't really have the fuel for LAX. You know, we're at 7,000. The system failure that we had, we still had normal braking. So it wasn't like we had alternate brakes and we're going into an airport with a short runway. You know, we're going into an airport that's wet, you know, heavy rain, but we got flaps forwarded. We didn't have a flap failure. It's just we had a system A failure, but that kind of shows you the redundancy. Maybe tomorrow we'll do system B. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to do system B failure, complete failure tomorrow. That's what we're going to plan on. We'll see the differences. So hydraulic system A today was kaputs. Tomorrow is system B. With that said, let me run this forward. Let's see the actual touchdown. Look at this weather. Man, y'all need to fly to San Jose right now because it's awesome. Love the leading edge slat grime on this livery from J'Aviation. Oh, I was wrong about the thrust lever. PMDG is correct. Thrust lever 1, reverser normal hydraulic pressure in op. Thrust reverser will deploy and retract at a slower rate and can cause thrust asymmetry, or thrust asymmetry can be anticipated during thrust reverser deployment. So it will still deploy. It will still deploy. It just may be at a different rate than the number 1 TR. It says May, so it doesn't say every time. It says May. Pretty good there from wing view. So it's still it deployed pretty much on time with the other one. Let's see what it looked like here on touchdown. Just put her down. Pretty textbook. I'll take that. Don't want to float it out. Our landing performance is based on a 7-second flare. This failure. I'll take it. One more in Faviano flyby view. So let's go ahead and do this. Shift X, reset the drone cam. I need to bind this. We're going to go here and here. I'm going to spin you around right here. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Zoom, 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 zoom. This. Sound on. Fire in the hole. Nope, wrong theme. Yep. 2 spoilers on each wing. Very cool. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out with me on a last-minute Sunday afternoon stream. I hope you enjoyed diving into some failures here on the 737. I know it gets pretty busy for me, and I don't get to interact too much with the chat as we get into the configuration changes, but I hope you enjoyed seeing something a little bit different. So there'll be more of that to come this week. Like I said, System B failure tomorrow. We'll be streaming probably normal time. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Too bad you weren't streaming when you first got typed in the Airbus. Oh, man, it would be cool, Jed. Well, yeah, I guess you like seeing it in real time. I mean, hey, it's definitely different, man. I'm learning the 7.3 in real time. You guys get to come along with me in a risk-free environment, which is really cool. So, awesome stuff. Thank you all for the support. Chris PT6, my man, hope you're doing well, buddy. All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See you.
100.